Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday. I'm going to go live here on Instagram. Give me 1 second. It is a rainy Wednesday here outside of Washington, D.C. My name is Dr. Simran. For those of you guys that already know me, this is my mom, Minnie. And we come live every Wednesday to do a few things, to check in with you, to make you laugh, to show you how easy plant-based cooking can be, and to get more plants on your plate to optimize your health and your quality of life. And then also just to talk about all things lifestyle medicine, mindset as medicine. So I am a physician, I am a coach, and I'm also a BRCA1 previvor. So I got to food as medicine because of my own health journey over the last 10 years. And now I'm super passionate about helping, especially women, optimize their health through the everyday little things that are in our control to, control what we can when we're juggling so many things, right? So that's a little bit about me, and I'll let my mom introduce herself and then we'll tell you what we're cooking today.
Hi everyone, my name is Minnie and I am coming from Toronto and I'm mother of two and grandmother of four. I am two-time breast cancer survivor, BRCA1 positive with a divorce survivor as well. I have many batches on my shoulder. On top, I am enjoying life and I'm on the same journey, plant-based, and on my self-healing journey. And in the same path, I'm helping a lot more people in my community with their journeys, with their health journey. So what are we making tonight, this afternoon, Simran?
All right, guys. So today we'll talk a little bit about protein and a little bit about how we can make really simple protein packed lunch or dinner or snack or whatever you want to make. So what we're making is think about like a tuna sandwich, right? We're gonna make a chickpea sandwich. So this is going to pack in protein and fiber, which we can talk about the benefits of what happens when you combine the two and what kind of effect it has, especially for your metabolic health. So we're making a smashed chickpea salad. Now, if you want this recipe, I posted on my Instagram and my Facebook yesterday. Just go and comment smashed, SMASHED, on the post and I will send it to you. But the beautiful thing about this recipe, just like every recipe we share with you guys, is it's really about what's in your kitchen. So if you've been following along weekly with us, you'll see that, the recipes I show you, I barely ever follow the recipe to the T. And that is probably the biggest like hack that I can share with you. Use recipes as inspiration and not to the T, because if you don't have something, it just makes things more stressful for you in the end, right? So use what you have in your fridge, in your pantry, and in the end, I promise you, as long as you season it well, your food, whatever you're making, is going to be amazing. And I learned this from the master here. Like my mom, I don't think I've ever seen her look at a recipe, which is also why it's super hard to recreate the food she makes, because because she literally
So
she just
now
cooks
I
like.
try. Now I try to write everything down. I've become pro at it. That's why we are coming up with the book. Come on,
Yeah,
keep up
she's
pace.
working on it. But that's also like, that's also why, like, especially like us Indian kids, right? Like it's like I make something for my kids, right? Like I make them, for example, we call it rajma chawal, right? Like rajma chawal is like every Punjabi kid's nostalgic favorite food, right? So if you're Punjabi and you're listening in right now, like show some love in the comments because you love rajma chawal, right? So rajma chawal is basically just like kidney beans. It's a kidney bean curry with the base made out of like garlic and onions and tomatoes, and that's
It's
it.
like
Like
a
it
chili
seems
for us. It's like a chili for us, right?
right, and it seems so simple, except that, and then a side of rice, right? It seems so simple, except whenever I try to make it, it never tastes like my mom's. And when my mom makes it, she makes it look so easy, and she gives me the same recipe, but it's never the same. So that's the thing about cooking. Like it's a skill like anything else. My mom's been cooking for 40 years, right? So now when she cooks, she's in her flow state. She just cooks. Like she doesn't have to worry about a recipe. So recipes are a tool, right, that you use to build your skill. And like anything else you're doing in life, right? Repetition is the mother of skill. Whether you want to get good at cooking, whether you want to get good at golf, whether you want to just create a daily habit of walking, like it doesn't matter. Repetition is the mother of skill. Okay, so the more you do something, the better you're going to get. And this is something I hear all the time. I don't know how to cook. That's because you haven't built the skill, right? Trust me, 10 years ago, I was burning rice still. I actually sometimes still burn rice. So you're not alone. Like cooking is one of those things that you just have to really keep doing over and over again. And why we love talking about cooking and showing you simple techniques to get healthy foods in is because eating is something we all do at least 3 times a day, if not in our American culture, even more. Most of us are eating all day long, and the food that we're consuming today is actually what's making us sick. Okay, so most of us are not consuming enough high quality, nutrient dense food, right? We're not eating the colors of the rainbow. We're eating mostly processed, ultra processed foods that are like cakes and cookies. And trust me, I had an ice cream last night. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect. However, it's really about what you're doing 90% of the time, right? The other 10% you can have fun, because life is also to enjoy, right? So but most of us are eating all the wrong foods, which is why as a society, as a culture, we are as sick as we are, right? So if you think about your inner circle and the people you know, I can guarantee you at least one or more of those people is suffering from any of these conditions: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, excess weight around the midsection, right? Heart disease, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, some sort of cancer, right? Like menopause symptoms that are out of control. Like most of these conditions, and I'm not going to say all of them, but most of these conditions are lifestyle related conditions. And I'm standing here as a genetic mutation carrier who has literally a gene mutation that increased my lifetime risk of cancer by over 80%. And I know that even for me, lifestyle habits like eating whole foods is going to help me reduce my risk of cancer, even as a genetic mutation carrier. Okay, so for the rest of the world, for the majority of the people, 70 to 80% of these conditions that I just named are lifestyle related conditions. And this is not to, like, I'm not trying to say that it's easy, right? Lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle is also a skill. The more you practice it, the better you're going to get. In some seasons of your life, you're going to be able to do more. In other seasons, it's going to be busy and you do what you can, and that's okay. But it's about consistency. It's about
Right.
building the skill, and it's about recognizing that what you're doing today, right? I'm in my 30s. What I'm doing today, the foods I'm eating today, the way I'm moving my body, the sleep I'm getting, the people that I'm surrounding myself with, the habits that I'm practicing today are going to pay dividends in my 50s and my 60s and my 70s. And that's what I saw in my career as a physician. A lot of times people would come in and say, oh, but like before today, when she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, up until last week, she was healthy. Here's the thing. Most of the silent killers you can't see, and there's no symptoms. Pre-diabetes, 1 in 3 people have pre-diabetes and 90% of people don't know it. High blood pressure, you can't really feel it. High cholesterol, you can't really feel it. Cancer, until you have advanced cancer, you can't really feel it. So these are conditions that over decades, start over decades, but then also over decades end up becoming very severe consequences, like type 2 diabetes and heart disease and stroke and kidney disease and like advanced stage cancer. And most of the time people, by the time they come to the hospital, you know, they've had this for many years. This is not something that just started. They weren't just healthy the week before. It's just that most of us prioritize everything, including charging our phone, and just put our health under the rug. So, if you have been to my lives before, you know that I'm a very passionate person. And I know the goal of these lives is to show you how to cook, but that's why I called it Lifestyle Chats and Cooking, because I have so much experience in caring for seriously ill and sick patients and with my own health, that I'm so passionate about sharing the mindset piece and the lifestyle piece of all of this as well. So that's why we talk about all these things, and I don't have a script. I just go on a tangent. So thank you for letting me go on a tangent. If you are tuning in, thank you. Tell us where you're coming from. These are always more fun when we have comments and people talking. So let us know where you're coming from. Let us know what you're working on with your health journey right now. And then I'm going to give it to my mom. Min, what are you cooking today?
I am on the same wavelength like you, more protein. But look at this interesting chickpeas. These are like melody of different type of chickpeas. I went to the store and I found this really different, like these are chickpeas, but they're all different color, like beige, the white big chickpeas, and this black one is called kala chana, which we use for the Indian cooking. The kala chana, and 250 grams of the boiled chana has 47 grams of protein. This one.
250 grams. That's
250 grams is 1 cup of boiled chana has 47 grams of protein.
wow.
It's
Wow, that's
it's
pretty
that
wild.
much. Yeah. And then this one has green chana, green chickpea. I have to now figure out all these other ones, which one. But I only two I recognize is this kala chana and this white chickpeas we use, right? And the green chana also we use like Indian cooking. You get it in the frozen section boiled, and then you get it in like dried one, and you soak it and you boil it. But I never made it, but I'm going
The
to.
green one, they also use a lot in Mexican food, I think,
Oh,
in
really?
like
Okay.
salsa and
But I
stuff.
never saw this melody before. I got canned one. So I found these canned chickpeas when you told me that you're making mashed chickpeas. So
So
yeah, so
interesting
that's
that you saw that, because I was listening to a podcast this morning that said, our ancestors, because they were like foragers, right? They used to go like searching for food, and yeah, they did eat meat, but meat was actually the smallest part of their diet. So they were actually gatherers, right? And because they didn't know when they were going to get food or what they were going to get, they used to eat, a lot of fruits and a lot of grains. And what they were saying is that there's actually over hundreds and thousands of species in the plant kingdom of food. And this is the perfect example, right? Like most of us, when we think of chickpeas, like this is what we think of. But look at how many varieties even within chickpeas there are. And the same goes for lentils, the same goes for like, kidney beans and black beans. I mean, like white beans. I mean, there's so many different types, and that's what makes eating plants so beautiful, because there is so much versatility, there's so much variety, and you're doing so much.
abundance, so much of abundance of food God has given us, plant
Right.
based, that you don't need to,
And
like if
here's
you
the
start
beautiful
eating right, yeah,
here's
it
the
looks so
beautiful
beautiful.
and here's the beautiful thing about it is that, most of the time when you're eating animal based protein, and if you do, right, like I am of the mindset that like focus on getting more plants regardless of what dietary pattern you follow. I'm not going to tell you not to do something, but I'm going to say is you should try to get more plants on your plate, because there's so many health benefits, right? And here's the thing about the benefits of plant-based protein over animal-based protein, if you were curious. So with plant-based protein, so for example, right, like we said, 1 cup of cooked chickpeas here has about 18 grams of protein, right? So that protein is going to be helpful for a lot of things, which we'll talk about in a minute. But This also contains 10 grams of fiber. This also contains iron. This also contains calcium. This also contains antioxidants. And so you're getting a much bigger bang for your buck when you incorporate more plant-based protein versus just animal protein, because with animal protein, you're not getting fiber and vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and all of that. And unfortunately, with most animal proteins, especially the processed meats and the red meats, there's a lot of saturated fat and cholesterol, which also can, affect our metabolic health. It can affect our heart health. It can increase risk of cancer. So you want to be careful, right? So you want to have an abundance, a variety of different types of foods in your diet, more plants when possible. So, sorry, go ahead, Min.
Yeah, so my recipe is very simple, as I that's the tagline for this spring and summer. Simple, three or four ingredients with simple vinaigrette. So that's like, as you said, just use whatever you have in your fridge. So that's what I want to show people. Just simple three or four ingredients, and voila, your salad is ready. And it gives you more fiber, gives you more protein. But if you are mindful about protein, like you add tofu to it or add lentils to it, have some seeds and nuts to it, that makes it a little more richer on protein and fiber as well, right? So today I am using this melody of chickpeas, and I'm adding uh, tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, and I got these radish. And then to hydrate it more is cucumbers, and I love cucumbers. And I know you love cucumbers because when you were a baby, when you were a teenager or a young child, you used to fight over cucumbers from everybody. Why I only got two slices? Why didn't I get like? And I used to laugh with you that one, you will marry a veterinarian, you have many dogs and cats, and the other, you maybe marry a farmer, that you love cucumbers so much when you were a baby. And the last thing I'm adding is parsley today, microgreen parsley, right? And then you mix it well. Parsley, I just love parsley in my salads.
Yeah, it gives it such a
It
fresh
smells
taste.
so good right now. I cannot tell you with the smell of the parsley. And I'm just using today, instead of like organic this olive oil, I am just using turmeric sauce. I just diluted it with water. So this will be my dressing today. So just I'm going to add very little so that I don't want to make it the whole thing wet. Plus, I will add this chaat masala. I just want Indian flavors to it. So this is such an amazing masala called chaat masala. It makes things very flavorful. It had many different spices, Indian spices. It's very tangy. So I'm just going to sprinkle on it. You can add more. I think I can add more, like a half teaspoon, but just for our viewers, I don't think everybody would like that. So I'm just adding another pinch, and then it's done. I'm going to.
So if you notice, like, how did she flavor that? Very, very simple, right? So you can either keep it super simple, salt and pepper, lemon, right? And some vinegar of your choice, or you can make it more fancy, right? So chaat masala is a Indian like tangy masala that we like to put on fruits and stuff like that. You can put it in salads. I put it in curries too. So she added that. So that's going to give it a kick. You can add spice to it if you want it to be spicier. And the other way, especially to add more flavor, is to add fresh herbs. That will be a game changer for your cooking if you haven't done that. So she used parsley microgreens. And here's the crazy part. I also have microgreens, and I found you've been telling me forever but I actually
Uh-huh.
found at our farmer's market a microgreen farmer. So I got a variety of microgreens this week. I got sweet basil
Oh,
microgreens
wow.
here. I got these are broccoli sprouts right here.
Wow.
This is fennel right here. The fennel is phenomenal, and this is
So
cilantro microgreens.
when I come, then you will have more of these when I come there.
Yeah.
Like
So
I
the
can
cool
play around with.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, see, they still have they're still
Oh.
in their roots, so these actually last in the fridge for about 2 weeks. So it's really amazing, and the best thing is with microgreens is that, like, if you're someone that doesn't get a lot of greens, then go for microgreens, because microgreens are like concentrated, so you get a bigger bang for your buck in terms of nutrient density. So you get a higher amount of vitamins and minerals, a higher amount of antioxidants or phytonutrients. So these ones right here, right? These guys right here, if you're someone that is at risk for cancer, or perhaps has cancer, or is recovered, like has, if you've recovered from cancer, you're a cancer survivor, broccoli sprouts are probably one of the most superfoods that you could consume for cancer risk reduction, because they have an antioxidant in there known as sulforaphane, which has very potent anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory properties. So if you think about broccoli or other cruciferous vegetables, right? Cauliflower, bok choy, all of those also have sulforaphane, but broccoli sprouts have about 100 times the amount of sulforaphane as you will get in broccoli or cauliflower. Now those things are still good to eat, but if you're looking to really up level your game, then I would go for broccoli sprouts. So basically, I kept mine very simple as well. So I just mashed the chickpeas, right? And I didn't have olives in my fridge, so to add kind of that vinegary flavor, I actually added capers, and then I added some of the brine water as the vinegar. And to add the crunch, you could add anything. You can add celery, you can add onions, you can add cucumber. I had chopped up colored peppers, so I just put those in there, which is perfect. And then I added a little bit of salt, but to add some more flavor, I actually have this salt. This is truff. So basically it's sea salt with truffle. So it gives you kind of like that umami flavor that you get from mushroom, which is amazing. So then what am I gonna do to even up the protein for this meal is um, I'm gonna use Ezekiel bread. So
Oh,
Ezekiel
nice.
bread right here, right? One slice of Ezekiel bread has 3 grams of fiber and 5 grams of protein. So protein is not hard to get. Most of us actually um, get more than enough protein than we need. However, right, my mom and I are actually in menopause. And so in menopause, and as we get older, and for children, there's certain age groups where prioritizing and focusing more on protein is important, because protein is going to do a couple of things. It's going to help with your metabolic health, and we'll tell you how. But then also, it's going to help with age related muscle loss. So, as somebody who's in menopause at prematurely, my mom, I went into menopause at 32. My mom also went into menopause in her 30s after chemo. And so, you are at higher risk in menopause of sarcopenia or muscle loss, and everybody is anyways, because as we get into our 30s and 40s, we lose about 0.5 to 1.5% of our body muscle mass each year. So if you're not doing anything to at least maintain your muscle mass, you're in big trouble. Okay, so protein is really important because it helps us build muscle, helps us maintain muscle. And so in combination with resistance training, it's super powerful. Now, the other thing about muscle is it's actually a metabolically active organ, meaning the more muscle you have, the more metabolically healthy you're going to be able to be, because muscle is one of those organs that helps after you eat food. Muscle is one of those organs that helps to suck up all that blood sugar in your bloodstream. So just back to this for a second. The other thing I'm going to do to add a little healthy fats to my toast here is I'm going to add some avocado. And then I'm going to top it with this like that. Yummy, yummy. So you see that right there. And then I'm trying to decide which microgreens. I think I'm going to go for fennel. I'm going to go for fennel microgreens, and it's going to add a whole lot of freshness to this. And then I'll probably top this off with some crushed red pepper, because that is my favorite right here. So there you go. So you have a beautiful chickpea
That
salad
looks so
there, lots of
good.
greens.
That looks
And
so
then
good.
if you want a sandwich instead, you can totally do that too. So uh Prince is saying super yummy. Yeah, I mean, this smells amazing. I'm sure my mom smells amazing too. She put parsley. I can smell the fennel. It's so, so good. But here's the thing, right? So here's how plant-based proteins, coming back to metabolic health, here's how plant-based proteins help you, because they have protein, but then you also have fiber. And this combination together is so powerful, because when you eat foods that have protein and fiber together, what it does is it activates a hormone in your body called GLP-1, and so much more as well. But that's our satiety. That's a hormone that activates our satiety center in our brain to tell our brain, hey, you're full. Okay, so it prevents us from overeating. But then also protein and fiber, what they do is they help to better regulate our blood sugar. So it keeps us fuller for longer, prevents us from overeating, and helps us regulate our blood sugar, and helps keep us insulin sensitive, meaning our insulin works the way it should be, right? And this reduces our risk of prediabetes, of diabetes, of heart disease, of stroke, of cancer, of all the things. Okay, so this is a very powerful combination when you're eating plant-based proteins. And you can find plant-based proteins in so many different ways. You can find them in lentils and beans and legumes like chickpeas, but you can also find them in nuts and seeds. For example, I'm also going to put a tablespoon of hemp seeds on top of my sandwich. Like, this is like a powerhouse sandwich right here, because 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds has 10 grams of plant-based protein, but then also has healthy fats in there, which omega-3s, which are great for your brain health, right? So that's kind of a little bit about that. I usually try to aim for about 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal, based on what I've read and the research that I've seen. That
That's the
is
best way
kind of
of
like,
taking protein. Yeah.
yeah, that's
That is
kind of
right.
like the best number to aim for. And so that's a little bit about that. So, uh, yummy name, please. So Prince, what are you asking the name for? Is it made of full of vegetables? I'm not sure what name you're asking about. So just
Is she
clarify that. And
talking about my salad?
it is made full of salads, it's vegetables. Are you talking about my mom's salad, or are you talking, what are you talking about? So just
It's
tell us. And
guys, it is a melody of chickpeas, different type of chickpeas you can get from a grocery store. And then I just added parsley, um, cucumber, tomatoes, and red radish, and a little bit of tamarind sauce to it. Simmered tamarind sauce with chaat masala. But you can just use lemon and vinaigrette of lemon and olive oil with salt and pepper. Simple. Garlic, maybe
um
a little bit of garlic powder or something. Yeah, so that's what my salad is all about.
yeah, sorry Prince, I don't know exactly what food name you're talking about, but so I'll just tell you what I made. I have Ezekiel bread. Ezekiel bread. This is what it looks like. It's phenomenal. If you're in the US, the cheapest place to find it is at Trader Joe's. That's where I buy it. Because it is a little bit more of an expensive bread. But the beautiful thing is you can actually put it in the freezer, just like any other bread, actually. If you want to make it a little bit better for you, you can put it in the freezer. And what that does is it increases the resistant starch
That's right.
in the bread, and that feeds your gut bacteria, and that helps to prevent too much of an impact on your blood sugar and is actually a little bit healthier for you. So that's one thing
You
that you
know,
can do.
the when I was young, my mom used to, ferment the atta, the flour dough for roti. So
Hmm.
that used to called fermented roti, called khameer atta roti. So I we didn't know why that was more like a more like a sourdough kind of a bread, but in a roti form. So we didn't know at that time why mummy used to do that, but it was good for our gut bacteria, right? And they used to make the roti in the night time and eat in the morning
Mm.
to increase the resistance starch. Nani ji used to eat the like one night before roti, all day roti with the green. She used to make it in the uh, pestle and mortar. She used to make fresh mint chutney in it, and then used to eat with the roti from last night.
Mm.
And that Nanaji used to get mad. Why do you eat old roti from last night? You should make it fresh, but not realizing that it was good for your gut, right? And it increases the resistance starch in it.
Age old wisdom. If we do more of what our ancestors did, we would actually be healthier today, right? So
Yeah.
it's a little things, simple things that actually make the biggest impact on our health. But yeah, Prince, so I have Ezekiel bread. I put some avocado. Then I made this chickpea smashed right here, which has chickpeas, rainbow peppers, capers, some truffle sea salt, and a little bit of olive oil. And if you want the recipe, you can go to my Instagram and comment smashed on the last post and you'll get it. And then I just topped it with some fresh microgreens, which you can get all sorts of microgreens. So I put fennel microgreens on here, which are adding so much like freshness to this sandwich. And then I just topped it with some crushed red pepper. So super, super simple. Doc in the kitchen is saying, I love your mom. She reminds me of my Punjabi mom. I know Punjabi moms are the best. Moms in general are the moms in general are the best. So anyways, I hope this was a helpful live. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you take something away from this that you implement in your life. Even the smallest things. Remember, every habit you implement, do it over and over again. It not only becomes a skill, but it has a stacking effect for your health, for your quality of life, and also for the health of your children and your family. So when you're practicing these healthy habits of eating like this or going for a walk or resistance training, you're literally creating your legacy, right? Like you're creating the health span for your children because they're not going to do what you say, but they will do what you do, right? So role modeling is so key. I just finished 4 days at Tony Robbins' Leadership Academy. I'm on his leadership team, and that is the biggest takeaway is that leaders go first, right? So you have to be the leader in your life. You have to be the leader in your family, at work, wherever it is, right? So just keep showing up in whatever capacity is available to you in this season of your life. I am a recovering perfectionist, right? It is no easy feat to go to medical school. You have to be type A. You have to kind of just always be on the ball, but also that can lead us into this perfectionist mentality of when things are better, when things are like this, when things are XYZ, then I will do this. However, the reality is life will pass you by, my friend, and when will never come, right? And the reality is if we do not make time for our wellness, we will have to make time for our illness. And not
It
only is
will
that
come.
hard,
It will come right behind you.
not only is that harder on you, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, existentially, but it's harder on your kids. It's harder. Trust me, I
And the
remember
whole
it.
family.
I remember what it was like when I was 13 years old and my mom was going to and from chemo and watching her hair fall out. Like I remember it vividly. And I've also seen my patients' kids, watch them go through serious illness, people leaving their kids at the bedside, right? Like these are all things that are going to happen, right? So you have to make time for you, even in the smallest capacity. It doesn't matter. Whatever is available to you in this season of life, please just do it, and it will pay you dividends today, tomorrow, weeks, months, years from now. And yeah, I hope this was helpful, guys. It was great being here, and thanks for tuning in. If it was helpful, please share it with a friend, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, and thank you everybody for being part of our this cooking channel. Bye bye.